Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Definitely, we're going straight to the front pages of the newspapers. We do have our newspaper analyst in-house, and we're looking at some of the biggest stories. But before that, today marks a very, very important day, especially one that has got to do with a big decision that would either go left or go right. But let's join our correspondent who's there live, and let's introduce you to what's really happening there in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Those who have been following the case concerning Nnamdi Kanu, well, today happens to be a very important day in that case. Joshua Imarayi joins us from the Federal Capital Territory, all dressed in black, and of course a little touch of red there. Good morning to you, Joshua, and welcome. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Joe. It is Judgment Day, and of course, any moment from now we will know the real fate of the Biafra Nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu, where the security is tight, movement is controlled, and detentions are some sort of high. But let me give you a feel of what the environment here at the Federal High Court seems like. As you can see behind me is the gate of the Federal High Court, and that place is being manned by scores of security officers, talking about the DSS, from the correctional facility, from the Nigerian police force. We can't go outside because we tried going outside, even tried taking pictures of what the environment is like, but they denied us that access, saying that they don't want their faces to show on camera. But here at the Federal High Court, we are witnessing a amount of security operatives, particularly agents of the DSS, scattered around several areas of the Federal High Court. Nnamdi Kanu was brought in earlier on, but they took him through the back gate as usual. But we are expecting that when judgment is delivered, he might come through the front gate. Joe.
Back to you, Joshua. We're hearing reports that the sentencing by Justice Omotosho will be broadcast live on television. Could you confirm if that information is true and the reason why they might be doing this?
And I can't verify if that information is true, but what we know is that Justice Omotosho is one who is an advocate of no cell phone, no transmission device in his courtroom. So it might be a little bit hard for Justice Omotosho to grant that. Of course, this is the first time that the case will be brought before any court of record, and the Federal High Court. Of course, you know that this same case has been before Justice Binta Nyako. Nnamdi Kanu has had his own fair share of social media activity where he was seen being taken in the court while he was arguing to when the case was moved to Justice James Omotosho's court. But what I can tell you is that Justice James Omotosho will not allow anything of some sort. So that is being out of the equation.
All right, I guess in the next few hours, we'll know what the fate is. But giving us what the security situation looks like, have we seen any supporters, of Nnamdi Kanu showing up, as we typically see in very high-profile cases, especially as this one has been an on and off situation? Have we seen maybe supporters showing up in the court arena? And is it, open to the public for them to attend the hearing? Or the judgment, rather?
To be honest with you, Olive, the Federal High Court currently is filled with security operatives, and that alone scares away any supporter of the kind. But earlier on, we saw the likes of Omoyele Sowore and Aloy Ejimako, one of the fired lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu. They were the only ones cited around the premises of the Federal High Court. But before one can gain access into the premises of the Federal High Court, it is like a camel passing through the eyes of a needle. You have to, the person has to be subjected to different layers of screening. Even me myself, it had to take me a while and got intervention before I could get into the Federal High Court. So that is the case here. No, the security operatives here are leaving no stones unturned when it comes to security protocol.
All right. I mean, what the news central, so I bet it's quite understandable that you must gain access, because that's what we're known for. Always dogged and ready. Fearless reporting, no doubt.
Yeah, we bring the news to you wherever it is.
100%, 100%. But we also heard that 44 members of the House of Representatives, which included, just to highlight that, some of the northern and southern parts, had already asked the presidency to look into Nnamdi Kanu's release today. Can you confirm to us how that also happened? And do you think, I mean, we're not trying to preempt the judgment, but do you think would have some of those members present at this judgment, if at all?
One of the many resources that interested parties in this particular case is seeking to ensure that this justice might be met, or perhaps Nnamdi Kanu can be left off the hook, is the political situation. A couple of federal lawmakers wrote a letter to the president, and even the presidency himself have confirmed that let justice be done and let judgment be delivered before any interference can come in. But aside that, nothing else. But I don't want to be preemptive. Nnamdi Kanu chose not to open his defense while the trial was on, and this had to force the judge to waive his right to a defense, that he actually ruled that today is supposed to be judgment. So we are seeing that Nnamdi Kanu is relying on the argument of the prosecution, and maybe some of the written addresses and some of the findings he made, some of the motions and the application, the judge might consider that, but as regards the judgment, let justice be done.
Well, reports have it that the police have tightened security in the east pending the judgment of Nnamdi Kanu being heard. But in the next few hours, we'll know what his fate is and what the next steps are. Do stay safe, and we look forward to connecting with you again on subsequent shows.
Thank you, Josh.